Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So I am doing a general reading today. It could be a collective reading, it could be a personal reading for someone specific, we'll see. It's kind of like a practice reading as I decide what I want to do for the March readings. And yeah, it's one of those where we're just going to kind of see what comes through. I'm getting a lot of maternal energy already in the underlying, and this card that kind of flipped out as I was preparing. So we've got the Empress card. The Empress is kind of like the ultimate woman kind of thing. When women are acting it doesn't have to be woman as well. I'm saying woman, but it's just funny because I was just listening to a version of that woman song by Doja Cat, so maybe that's relevant to somebody because I'm saying it. But it's kind of like it could be the feminine within, right? We all have yin and yang energy, masculine and feminine energy. This is because we have a complicated star chart with all different planets moving around all the different houses. Some of them are feminine, some of them are masculine. So we're talking about energy rather than gender or sex. However, this could be talking about kind of maternal feminine figures in your life because the Empress can be mother. So we could be talking about I don't know, anyone who represents kind of maternal energy. So it could be your mother, your grandparents. It could be, I don't know, a sister who's pregnant. It could be you, as a mother figure. So do take it as it resonates. Leave it if it doesn't. But this kind of maternal, feminine, kind of high vibrational energy is coming through. So when the Empress card shows in somebody's reading, it's really talking about connecting with that highest frequency of feminine energy. She's all four queens of the tarot, and she's being very, very capable. She's good with her emotions, she's open, she's loving, she can communicate really well, what she needs, what she wants, how she's feeling. She's empathetic, she listens to others really well. She's kind of like the do-all, she has ideas, she's creative, she has dreams and ambitions, and she knows how to kind of like bring in the Queen of Pentacles energy to make that happen. So yeah, this is kind of like the days when we're not Empress energy all the time. There's no single woman or person on this planet who is 100% Empress every single day. That's not the reality of being a human being. But this is kind of like those days when you wake up and you're like, do you know what? I look good today. I feel good today. I've got energy. I can accomplish my goals. I can get on really well with other people. So it's like peak performance days. Now, we could be also talking about the role of the feminine and kind of like the archetype of the mother figure in your life. We could be talking about kind of how you've been mothered, how you mother yourself, how you mother others, and kind of like what that means to you. So this could be something that's going to be a theme. These two cards together, the Hangman. So we've got, if you're interested in the specific energies that are coming through, so it's not a specific sign, it's energy, there's a difference. But we've got Libra Taurus energy with the Empress, and we've got Aquarius energy here with the Hangman. This is looking to me, this particular card from the Tarot del Nuit deck talks to me about the sleeping Empress. So it's kind of like an Empress who is kind of doing some soul searching or trusting her intuition. She's kind of going inwards, kind of like Sleeping Beauty energy. But while she's sleeping, she's kind of doing this internal work. So it could be talking about how important it is to get the rest you need, especially if you are a mother, you're running around after the kids, or you're playing that kind of maternal role, because father figures, dads can also kind of do the typical mum stuff, perhaps like single fathers and things like this. So again, I don't want to kind of like divorce, maybe somebody's had a divorce, I don't know, divorcing the idea of kind of like specific household chores, specific activities as being the wife's role or the mum's role. Dads can do this too. I just kind of want to divorce the idea of kind of like masculine, feminine, and gender, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't, just leave it, okay? Like, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But the sleeping Empress, so it's like finding that within, like especially with the Hangman, because she's kind of all wrapped up. She looks like she's cocooned, maybe coming up with a plan, because we've got the Page of Pentacles underneath that. So this kind of resting, this resting stage where you kind of like daydreaming a bit, thinking things through, letting your mind wander. It is a way of tapping into kind of divine ideas. It is a way of kind of getting your thoughts in order so you can come up with a plan. So yeah, this kind of cocoon status of kind of rest, relaxation, the importance of that. You've got to look after yourself so you can effectively look after others. If you're not getting enough sleep, if you're tired all the time, you know, you're not going to show up for the people in your life as effectively as you would if you were well rested. So there could be something with that for you. The elephants on the Six of Cups. Now, the Six of Cups has this feeling of, it could be talking about children as well. There's a childhood element to the Six of Cups, but it also talks about nostalgia, thinking about the past, often with rose-tinted glasses, you know, thinking about the good times. It can also talk about past lives and just things that have happened in the past. Now, I love the elephant symbolism on this because with this creation card as well, with the water, with this kind of grandmother figure, so we've got kind of the mother and the grandmother kind of showing up in this reading. It's making me think of my own mum, because my mum loved elephants, you know. So yeah, there's some really happy, positive feelings that are coming through with that. So again, this could be thinking about mothers or grandparents and maternal figures perhaps who have even passed over, and kind of the happy memories that come along with that. And elephants are a lovely, lovely animal as well, because they really they work together to look after the children, you know, the co-parents. You know, the elephants can go and run over to the aunties, and the aunties are going to play that maternal mother figure for them. And you know, they don't forget, you know, elephants never forget. So not forgetting the important maternal figures in your life, perhaps. And then this creation card, again, it has that feeling of kind of like going within. Water can symbolize the subconscious, psychic abilities and emotions. So again, this feeling of resting, of meditating, of allowing your thoughts to fly, and seeing what kind of thoughts come naturally to you when you stop trying to dictate your thoughts, and you just sit in this moment of meditation and release, and see what comes to you, almost like a dream state. So talking about the dream state, if I move over to my notes, so I've got some things that have come through kind of through my intuition, through dreams, through songs. The name Lorde, maybe this is somebody's last name, something Lorde. It could be talking about the Lord, perhaps if somebody's particularly religious. I am getting this thing about praying. Let me just go back to my notes from a couple of days ago. So I got the song Temptation by Heaven 17, which was giving me lead us not into temptation. So I don't know if somebody's particularly tempted by something. This was also kind of giving me, is it Stanley Kubrick and Clockwork Orange? Somebody could be into horror films. Again, my mum was really into kind of Stephen King and kind of horror novels, so that could be a thing. What else was I getting from that? The idea of controlling with control through fear, and the idea of loyalty. So looking at perhaps your own behavior as a parent. I'm not calling you out here. I'm just talking about different ways that this could come through in your reality. And, you know, the way you were parented and kind of role models in your life. Was there anyone who controlled you through fear, right? Controlled you through threats, and expected loyalty. So the notes that I kind of got was obedience is not the same as loyalty. Loyalty is given, never taken, and obedience is born on necessity. Now, I was told, like I literally heard in my ear, you don't want to go too deeply into this, scratch the surface. So again, I'm not going to kind of dwell on this, but it's talking about I've been playing GTA, and there's a character called Trevor, and he controls his friends through intimidation. And it's that kind of thing. It's like, that's not true loyalty, because as soon as that person can get away, you know, or stab you in the back, you know, they're going to do that. Like obedience through fear is necessity, but true loyalty comes through love. And this is the idea of loyalty is something that's given through respecting someone, through caring about them, and it's not something that can be demanded. So I don't know if somebody needs to hear that, but again, maybe this is something to do with a maternal figure, because we've got this here coming through. So maybe we're talking about healing the maternal figure archetype within. If you have had very challenging maternal figures in your life, perhaps if you're, you know, maybe this is talking, again, take gender out of it, but this could be like your wife, your mother, your grandmother, an auntie. If you've had someone who's very, very controlling, particularly playing on your fears to keep you in line and to keep you close, that's quite toxic. So unraveling that and finding true Empress energy, and those people in your life who can give you that that true loving maternal energy and surrounding yourself with that. Now that can talk about friends. You know, I have my work mums. I joke and call them my work mums because you know, you can find that nurturing feminine energy through friends, through colleagues, through just different people that you interact with, and it can heal that damaged archetype within. What have I got? Let me just go through my notes again. So I've got random signifiers. So there's something about anti-hero, you know, that song by Taylor Swift. I was getting like a relationship between two people who are very, very supportive, and they come through as almost like natural predators, like this, like a snake and a mouse, or what was the other one that I got? Like a deer and a panther. So it's kind of like an unexpected supportive relationship, and it was talking about holding back your like holding back instincts to because of love, right? So how do I explain this? So there's the song Anti-Hero says, always rooting for the anti-hero. So again, it's like perhaps a supportive relationship where somebody feels quite damaged. Perhaps they keep making the wrong choices and they're questioning, why does this person stick by me? Why does this person keep supporting me? It must be really tiring to love and support somebody who keeps messing up. Without me as well, this feeling too far away to hold me, I refuse to die, not by your side. So this sense of distance from somebody who is a supportive character for you. Supportive character, I wonder, that's an interesting way of phrasing it. This was coming through like the oak tree and the strength card, which again is this feeling of like perhaps somebody in your family, with it being the oak tree, who is this kind of like eternally supportive kind of backbone character for you. Again, perhaps this is your mother, perhaps you're distanced from your mother and you need that support, you need that stability, but they're at a distance from you. What else have I got? Something about somebody who is fighting for their sovereignty. So it's coming through as like Nine of Pentacles energy. So wanting that kind of Nine of Pentacles independence, but finding that you still have to negotiate with people around you. Like the Ten of Pentacles symbolizes shared assets, shared resources, kind of like a network of people who are all kind of like a workplace or a family, like a family home. There's like other people involved. The Nine of Pentacles is somebody who may have some form of financial independence, but they're finding that even though they have that financial independence, they still have to negotiate, right? They don't just automatically get what they want because, I don't know, it could be figuring out who's looking after the kids if you want to go on holiday or a work trip. So it's like, yes, you have independence, but you still have to negotiate with the world around you. With a message, easier than lying, be kind. Something about kindness. There was something about evolving kindness, so a leveling up of the heart to a higher level of kindness, a higher level of compassion. What else? So really random messages. So take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. Something about Rihanna could be significant to you. Maybe you've been to a concert, maybe you're listening to Rihanna, maybe it's your favorite artist, but Rihanna for somebody could be significant. Super Bowl as well, something about the Super Bowl. Obviously Rihanna just played Super Bowl, maybe you went, maybe you watched it on TV. Five of Cups energy, feeling left out, not receiving invites from friends or not accepting invites from friends. So there's something about like maybe expecting people to get back to you and them not getting back to you, or trying to arrange something and people are kind of wishy-washy about it, and you've got this feeling of kind of like missing out on social situations. Excuse me a second. Okay, sorry for the interruption. My son was in the bath and I was just chasing him to make sure he was putting clean clothes on and not the same hoodie he's been wearing for a week. There could be something as well with that, because I was kneeling down on a cushion because he had the stool that I normally sit on. So there could be something about praying if you pray. There could be something about prayer position if you do yoga, something like that as a side note. So I can't think what I was talking about now. So yeah, just feeling left out, feeling like maybe wanting to be social, maybe feeling quite drained. This happened to me this week. My very lovely work colleagues invited me out, but I don't know if I was coming down with something. I don't know if it was like something to do with my menstrual cycle, or if there's like something missing from my diet, but I was absolutely like battery at 2%. Like I was so tired, and I had to say I can't come out. And this could be something about the self-care as well, you know, like having to skip social interactions because you're aware that you're running on empty. You're aware that it's going to be too much for you. And so having to be really careful with your energy and where you spend that energy. So with that, maybe look at, are you spending too much energy at work and not enough time and effort kind of with social situations? Are you spending too much time sleeping and not enough time working? Yeah, can relate. And just kind of look at that kind of like work-life kind of sleep social balance, and just make sure you're spending your time in the best way, like what's draining you, what's replenishing you, kind of look at that. But yeah, with that, if you are spending a lot of time kind of like relaxing, meditating, maybe being very nostalgic for the good times, you know, if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. A bit out of breath. There could be something going on as well for you socially where you're getting mixed signals. For some of you, this is a relationship that that you've been trying to give a second chance. It's almost like maybe a relationship where you've had a breakup and you're trying to make things work, but again, perhaps for the kids, but the other partner's not really cooperating and you're confused. It's like, I thought you wanted this and now you're acting like you don't care. It's so this kind of stringing along feeling as well with that. Like I've got someone like checking the phone to, you know, has this person text back, why isn't this person like picking up my calls or answering the messages, that kind of thing. So just be wary of like, if you feel like someone's acting interested and then disinterested, it's like you're trying to figure out what's really going on with them. Are they doing it for kind of a different reason, perhaps for financial reasons? So there's some questions around that. But if this is an Empress for you, it could just be that this person needs time to relax, right? They need to sleep, right? Maybe they've turned the phone off so they can meditate and have a good sleep. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they're avoiding you or ignoring you. It could just be that they need that time to even sit with their memories. So again, like just, it's going to be different for different people. This was a very specific message, and it's coming through with a bit of a warning. I don't want to kind of scare anyone. I had a dream where a little boy fell off a roof. Maybe this is something that happened to you personally in the past. The boy was kind of fine. His mum was kind of getting him to walk it off, and I was very, very concerned because I was like, that boy needs to go to a hospital and just have a proper check over. But the mum was like, he'll be fine, walk it off. And he kind of had a bit of a limp. So again, this could be something that's like a signifier for somebody. But if the boy had kind of got out onto the roof through a like an attic window, you know, if you've got like a converted attic. So just be really careful if you've got kids about roof access and windows, and just make sure, and again, this isn't something to have anxiety over, but it could just be that you need a quick word with somebody. Perhaps your kids are staying at somebody's house and you need to say, can you just double check those windows are locked? Maybe it is you just need to lock a window. Maybe you have to have a safety talk with your kids. But if you've got like a particularly adventurous child and there's roof access, that's just a little heads up for somebody. Something about ladders and pigs. Pigs can be a really I don't really like pigs. If you've ever read or watched Hannibal, kind of the sequel to Silence of the Lambs, pigs they will eat anything. They can be a bit scary. So it's almost like guard dogs, but they were pigs. So coming up a ladder, but there being a pig there. I don't know what that is. Sometimes I just get messages and it's like, I'm just going to say what I got. Something about dancing as well. So again, with this feeling of like 5 of Cups, I was shown this kind of visual of a group of girls. It was actually a big group of girls, almost like a class of girls, and it was like they were coming out of college or something, and they were dancers. So it was like they were trying to get onto it was like dance school, or they tried to get a dance scholarship or something like this. And so it really focused on 3 specific girls, and 2 of them were very, very slim and kind of almost ballerina-like. And they were really excited because they were holding the letters and they got this scholarship, and it was like a really long scholarship as well. It's like 3 to 10 years or something something. I don't know what that seems like, a really long scholarship, but that's how it came through. And they'd put in a huge amount of hard work. It meant a lot to them. They'd practiced and practiced and practiced, and they really wanted it, and they got it, and they were so excited. But then it cut to this third girl who was kind of like one of their friends. And the way it came through was she didn't want it as badly as the others, right? It wasn't her dream. It's like maybe she was just there because she was friends with these other girls and she didn't know what else to do, something like that. But she hadn't got the scholarship. She hadn't got onto the program. She kind of so there was this. She was sad. She was sad and she was disappointed, and she was disappointed in herself. And like, she didn't have the same physique as the others, so there was a question over, is it a looks thing? But it was coming through that because she wasn't as motivated to put in the time and effort as the other girls, because again, it was like, it was the other girl's thing, it was the other girl's dream, she hadn't kind of pushed herself as hard. And you know, she didn't really expect to get on the program because she knew she hadn't put in the work, but she was still really disappointed. And I think she was more disappointed that she wasn't included, right? Like, she wasn't getting to do the thing that her friends were doing, rather than the thing itself, which you know, was dancing. It wasn't like it wasn't her passion. She'd just gone along with it. So this could be symbolic of something that's happening in your life, where sometimes these things can happen for your own good, because if you've been going along with your friends and they're doing something that doesn't align with you, that you're not passionate about, it could be that if they get accepted onto something and they go on to do it, it opens you up and your time up, instead of tagging along with them, to find out what your passion is and to experiment and to try new things, and maybe even find a group of friends who are really in alignment with you and your interests. So yeah, just that's something for somebody to, if you're one of the people who've got this program, or like you've got an award, or you've got attention for something that you've put a lot of hard work into, just be aware of who didn't get that. And it's not that you have to not be excited, but you know, be compassionate and think about the people who are disappointed. Don't leave them out. And if you're the person who's disappointed, just know that this might be a rerouting from the universe to get you onto a path where you're going to be that excited about something. You're going to have that much passion. You're going to feel like you found your thing, right? Instead of kind of like going with the flow and kind of following the others, which didn't feel satisfying to that person in the first place. Nearly done with the intuitive messages, and then we'll pull cards. I'm getting a lot of stuff about whales and sharks, the ocean and sea creatures in general, but particularly whales and sharks at the moment. Whales can be a big secret coming up to the surface, or something that is coming out of your subconscious into your consciousness, and it's always something really big. Sharks as well. Sharks are coming through this message. It's kind of coming through with the Minotaur card as well from one of these decks, of somebody who's been scapegoated, or somebody who's been misunderstood, and it's like they have a purpose, right? They have their nature, and they've been perhaps vilified, and then it's this energy of finding somebody who loves you for who you are and has compassion for you, and sees that something wasn't your, it's like, again, it's like scapegoat. So again, somebody could be like the black sheep of the family, the scapegoat of the family. They get the blame for everything. And again, it's like finding those people who accept those. It's like they're not even faults, right? It's like the family could see this as a fault. You know, maybe it's your fault, right? But it's like finding somebody who sees the situation in a different way. With this Hangman card, it's like seeing a situation from different angles and different perspectives, and it's like this person can see how maybe the situation came about because of like the actions of the family itself. It has this scapegoating feeling, so it's like loving the black sheep of the family energy, something like that. Okay, so God, that was a long introduction. I am going to put these cards away. You can see how look how I put that in as well. Did you see the card? It was the ballerina card. So again, that idea of like ballerinas, dancing, that could definitely be something for somebody. Like, so just give this a bit of a shuffle. Again, the Queen there as well. The Queen can talk about contracts, agreements, because if you think about a queen, it's normally given as some kind of it's not like an award, right? It's like there's a to and fro there, like quid pro quo. I don't know, Silence of the Lambs, maybe somebody's been watching or reading Silence of the Lambs. Two of Wands, maybe somebody's deciding if they want to read or watch Silence of the Lambs. It's like Two of Wands is like different paths, and then the imagery on the card makes me think of Hamlet and Horatio, and like, you know, the idea of like thinking about the past again, and looking at that as well, like Venus as well. The Queen of Venus, that kind of gives me, and the Unicorn, because I've been playing GTA, kind of talks about buying love. I'm going to phrase it that way. You know, like wanting affection, especially particularly maternal or female affection, and like looking for that and needing for that, and feeling like there's some kind of monetary contract there as well. So again, you probably get what I'm hinting at. I don't think that's for everybody, but it could just be something where it's like, you know, every time to get attention from your mum, she expects you to take her out to lunch and pay for a meal, and you're like, I'd love to see you without having to kind of like dip into my wallet to do that. It could be perhaps a partner, a wife, or even like a series of girlfriends. Again, not talking about your gender, because anyone can have a girlfriend no matter what your sex or gender is, but it's like a string of feminine figures in your life who you know, expect you to like pay for their food, pay for their clothes. They see you as a bit of a piggy bank energy for somebody. Again, it could be like, I don't know, sister, like maybe like even like a younger sister, and every time you go shopping with her, you end up buying her new stuff. So it's like the Empress again. Look at that, the Empress. Now the Empress won't do this. The Empress is very, very fair. Again, like ruled by Venus, which is Taurus Libra. So true Empress energy, true feminine energy is very, very equal. It's very, very fair. It's a counterpart energy, very high vibrational. The Empress is not going to use people. The Empress is actually more inclined to be of use, you know, to make herself available, to be supportive without expecting, not without expecting anything in return, because the Empress knows her value, right? Again, with that idea of like coins, we could be talking about a situation where that's very, very kind of traditional and typical, where it's like the guy goes out and earns the money, and the Empress, the mother figure, raises the children and stays at home. So it's like the Empress is providing the love and the nurturing, and the Emperor is providing the money and the kind of financial pentacle side of things. That's equal, that's balanced, because each person's playing a part. And again, take gender out of it, you can flip it and reverse it and play it how you need to be. But yeah, the Empress energy, she knows that if she gives and gives and gives, she'll deplete herself. So she has those high values and high, you know, she expects to be respected, whatever way, shape or form that comes through. Okay, so this is the Tarot de la Nuit. This is the Guardians of the Night Tarot. And then this mega deck here, if you can see the size of this, this is 4 oracle decks all blended into one, and they're all by Stacey DeMarco and is it Kinga? I really love the artist. Is it Kinga? It doesn't even say on the front, like that's naughty. Yeah, Stacey DeMarco and Kinga Britschke. I've got this Deep, Dark and Dangerous Oracle. This is the one that I've most recently bought. Queen of the Moon, Elemental Oracle, and there's another one in there. Oh yeah, Divine Animals Oracle. So all Stacey DeMarco and Kinga Britschke, all blended into one. The Deep, Dark, Dangerous Oracle is, it really appealed to me. It's kind of like a lot of kind of like myths and legends, which is kind of like the theme of Stacey's decks, and yeah, I bought it a couple of weeks ago because I thought it was I really like the art style of Kinga Britschke, and I think it's a newer deck, and I like the idea of doing shadow work with it. So yeah, I've got this kind of like mega deck. We'll see what comes out of it. And then this is my own little deck. So I'm just going to take a second to breathe and drink some water, sage, meditate, and I'll be back and we'll pull some cards. Okay, so as I kind of took a little breath out, I shuffled, and we've got Starman. So Starman, if you don't know, is one of my guides. He kind of comes through with this kind of very, kind of almost like visionary, seeing the future, kind of Aquarian technology, physics energy. So we've got Starman around. We've also got my mum kind of coming through and hanging around as well. I'm going to get some Scrabble letters and random words, so hopefully this is going to be a signifier for you to let you know if this is your reading or not. If it means something, it means something. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It may be the initial of people's names. It may kind of seem to spell something out to you. Use your own intuition and go with whatever we get. Okay, we've got E. A name popped into my head. H. I got the name Ellie. And Ellie and Harry. I think because of the elephants, like Nellie the elephant. Maybe that's a nickname you have for somebody. HR, maybe something to do with HR, like HR department. I'm getting, I don't know why, but I'm getting, here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Jesus loves you more than you will know. I'm getting 3 more, I'm being told. E. B. S. BS. Maybe somebody's BSing you. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe that means something to you. Maybe if you move them around, I'll just kind of like move them around. You can see if anything kind of jumps out at you. Like Siri. Like, again, like I'm not trying to particularly spell anything out. I'm just kind of moving letters around. So maybe something means something there to you. Maybe not. Right? Maybe like rise. I'm getting. I don't know. See what you get. If you don't get anything at all, that's absolutely fine. It may not be your reading. If it is your reading, something should be jumping out at you by now. So I'm not looking. I can't see what letters I'm pulling out. So words, please. So this can be a signifier, so this person knows that the reading is theirs. Sweet. Sweet. Making me think of Dude, Where's My Car? Which I was getting cars, actually. It wasn't in my notes, but I was getting cars. Dude, Where's My Car? Sweet. What else does he say? He's like, they're looking at the tattoos. Maybe somebody's got a tattoo. And they're like turning around and like, oh, what does mine say? And he's like, sweet. And he's like, but what does mine say? It's like a silly joke. Deep. Deep and sweet. Now we're talking, baby. Now I'm getting a cigarettes after sex song. It's so sweet the way that you love me. We don't need to say it to each other, sweet. Symphony. There's that song. There's a song called Symphony, isn't there? Is it by Anne-Marie or BB Rexha? Hang on a sec. I phoned a friend. my eldest is behind me playing Sims. She said it's Zara Larsson, so thank you for that. I could hear them going, no, in the background. Anything else, please? Hearing 2 more. So the what? The spring. So maybe something's happening in the spring. Maybe you're going listening to a sweet deep symphony in the spring. I don't know, maybe you're going listening to an orchestra or something. I don't know. Maybe it's a date. Okay, so yeah, if you're going through a bit of a winter period where again maybe things have felt like everything's on ice, you know, people aren't really going out, you know, you're a bit bored, you wanting a bit more of a social life, you wanting to go out and do things, it's been cold, it's been dark, it's been lonely, you know, we're coming into, again, there's a north and south equator thing here, but it's talking about the spring season in your life. So if you felt like you've gone through a winter season where everything's kind of been on the back burner, the spring season's coming, so it's kind of got that life is speeding up energy to it. The princess. I don't know. Take it as you will. The princess. Anything else, please? Oh, yeah. And the dance. I told you I was getting dance. And the knight. I don't know. It's like the knight approaching the princess and asking her to dance. So maybe you're going to go to the ball, Cinderella. I don't know. Like, it's... The princess talks about our inner feminine, kind of our naive side. The side of us that kind of believe or wants to believe in fairy tales and tells us ourselves that, you know, our dreams can come true. It's kind of naive, but it's also beautiful, and we need that energy in the world. We need the energy of having hope and having dreams, and really feeling like good things can happen to us if we wish upon a star. And like, yes, sometimes we need to be practical, sometimes we need to put our ideas into motion. It's kind of giving me Piscean energy. I think there's a lot, we're in Pisces season, which is a very, very dreamy sign. It's kind of a bit of a disconnect from reality and go to, I don't know, computer games, movies, your imagination, to kind of like do that replenishment, right? To be like, everything's going to be okay because I'm in my happy place. You know, but the princess does eventually become a queen, so there can be an aspect of needing more experience, on, and also being careful about getting jaded. We want to really keep the princess energy inside us intact. It's kind of like if you've ever had like you know, when you have a child, it's like, yes, you want them to grow up. Yes, you want them to know how to keep themselves safe, but you want them to still believe in the magic and believe in the fairy tales and believe in believe that good things can happen unexpectedly. Like, you don't want to damage that. And maybe this is a part of yourself that has been damaged. Maybe you had to grow up too quickly. Maybe you got very jaded, very calloused, and you know, you thought life keeps giving me lemons and I'm, you know, I have to grow up. And maybe this is something, a part of yourself that you need to revisit. And then the dance as well. So the dance, it actually came through in my practice reading yesterday with that kind of Nine of Pentacles energy of having to negotiate with other people. So wanting independence and wanting to, perhaps you are an empress, right? It's like perhaps you want to have some level of independence in your life, perhaps financial independence, with it being the Pentacles energy, but you still have to cooperate and negotiate with other people around you. You know, how you have to plan things, you have to work out who's picking up the kids, you know. So it's yes, you can be a single parent, but you still have to do the dance with work, do the dance with the rest of your family. That's kind of how it came through in that reading yesterday. But we could be talking literally, because of the ballerina energy, about people who are dancers, perhaps performers, perhaps the dance can also talk about like almost like the mating dance as well, like the approach, especially with the knight as well. The knight is kind of like taking action. So it's kind of like, how do I approach the princess? How do I make the right moves here? How do I don't want to put a foot wrong. I want to do this in sequence. So lots of different ways that could come through. Let's go to my massive oracle deck. Again, it's like the 4 decks by Stacey DeMarco and Kinga Britschke, and we'll kind of see what wants to come through. So let me just tune in. Hold on. Princess, please. They're showing me Disney, you know, like the Mickey Mouse ears. Maybe somebody's going to Disney. Giving me, we're going to Disneyland, you know, like when they win the lottery, we're going to Disneyland. Maybe you've got a little bit of money that's coming in. Maybe you're going to get to do something. So Disneyland representing kind of like something expensive, but it's kind of like a dream. It's like a fantasy place. It's like wanting to do something that perhaps was quite costly, and actually being able to do that and be a big kid again. Oh, that is too many. I'm going to go again because that was too many, but I'm seeing beginnings east. So maybe there's some new beginning. Maybe you're, I don't know, moving home and you're moving towards the east. And resilience with Skylar. So you can kind of Google that and look more into that if you're interested in doing so. So wanting a new beginning and having to be resilient about it. Kind of like Merida, right? The resilient princess. Or Mulan. Or even Cinderella, you know, in her way, my namesake, you know, she has resilience. You know, she could have fallen into despair and given up and kind of, but she doesn't, right? She makes the best of a bad situation, and she's patient, and she makes friends with those that she can make friends with, and she finds the joy in the little things in life until, you know, her prince comes. Princess. Okay, we've got one. Marine life, richness. Okay, that's really interesting. So immediately I'm getting like the unconsciousness or the dream life or the imagination. It's like this is somebody who internally they have a very rich, vibrant soul. You know, a really this could be the sort of person who has very vivid dreams, or who it's like they're not surface level, because you could imagine this princess with certain combinations of cards could be seen as somebody who is very vapid, you know, very interested in just their looks, and this is somebody who's they have a richness inside them, or they have a very rich life, right? It could be externally as well, but with it being water, water talks to me about the consciousness, right? The subconsciousness, the dream life. So yeah, this could be somebody who, like Cinderella, right? Her what, I can't think of the dream song, the princess dream song. It's like escaping reality. And again, there's different ways of doing this. I was kind of talking about this before. It could be through computer games, it could be through writing, it could be through daydreaming, it could be through reading. It's kind of like, perhaps again with the idea of like the princess not having much experience of the world, she's kind of kept locked in a castle. The way she expands her reality, the way she expands her knowledge of everything, could be through reading or imagining. You know, there's different ways of having experience, and sometimes that comes through in a second person form. Anything else, please, for the princess? Oh, that is too much. That is a lot. Okay, that's too much again. So I'm seeing purity. Again, I probably will take that. It was the first card that came out, and it makes a lot of sense, especially with the horse as well, because sometimes I talk about unicorn energy specifically being somebody who has gone through darkness, somebody who has had difficulties in their life, and who has kind of against all odds managed to keep the princess within alive, you know, to be able to keep hoping and believing and dreaming, even though the reality has beaten them down, or caused them to has tried to take that away from them. So the unicorn energy is like, it's not innocence in terms of naivety, it's purity in terms of somebody who has defied the odds to maintain that energy. So it's really actually really nice. And then wisdom as well. Actually, do you know what, maybe I will take these cards. Wisdom, again, it's the idea of like wisdom that comes through almost like high priestess energy, like through the subconscious, through reading, through taking knowledge wherever you can find it. So I'm going to take that as well. Maybe joy music could be relevant to somebody as well there. Moderation, rhinoceros, so very Libran energy, actually very kind of Athena type energy, being patient. Again, that idea of like being patient, not overdoing it, keeping everything in balance. And then peregrine falcon, so observation, kind of feels like third eye energy, right? Through gaining life experience through watching others, and again, this can be like through role play games, it can be through reading, through watching TV shows or movies. It's kind of like, okay, I haven't had that first-hand experience, but I've seen my friends go through this, I've seen this played out on the screen, I know this story because I've observed this story in others. So there could be something about not stabbing yourself in the back as well, right? Okay, like this as well, like again, that sleeping beauty energy, like something that's on ice. Okay, that's quite a lot of cards there. Right, let's do the dance. Why is the dance here, please? Okay, we've got atoms building. Again, it's got this kind of almost going kind of step by step, one step at a time, coming up with a plan, and then I'm hearing purpose, having a purpose, right? Like the shark card, and it's kind of like knowing where you're heading, right? It's like knowing which steps to take, with it being the dance, right? Kind of like foxtrot as well as coming through. So it's like step by step. I'm going to, almost like Eight of Pentacles as well, like I'm going to improve, I'm going to move a step closer, kind of like a chessboard energy. Funny I was calling it checkboard. And then power, full moon power. So it has this feeling of like gaining your power, gathering your power, increasing your power one atom at a time. You're building your power. Perhaps you're dancing, you know, like how if you do yoga regularly, you improve your core strength. It's like you're increasing your power through dance, perhaps. Perhaps you're doing dance classes and it's making you physically more powerful, but maybe also like, again, maybe more resilient and maybe more like rebuilding. It's like recovery, perhaps, rebuilding and recovery. Anything else on that, please? Electricity, wildness. Perhaps you feel very wild and free when you dance. Yeah, perhaps this is a really good form of exercise for you because it allows you to express yourself. It allows you to tap into perhaps sources of power for you. I know that because we had joy in music as well over here, it's like when I listen to music and when I let myself dance in a kind of like crazy, nobody's watching kind of way, kind of like a very raw, kind of expressive way, it does make me feel very like powerful and like I'm tapping into something as well, like I'm tapping into some kind of almost like raw feminine energy. So maybe that's also something. And then hunger as well. So it's like, what's it giving me? It's almost like just like the imagery of these two. There's that Minotaur as well. Again, that energy. Oh my God, these cards have been coming through. Oh my God. Okay, we're going to go into that in a second. We're going to go into the underlying. So it's like, what am I getting? So one of the first things that came through is like Footloose. You know where the story of Footloose is like the town and they're not allowed to dance. I don't know if dance is symbolic of love for somebody. It's like or expression. It's like you're not allowed, or like, you know, like Billy Elliot, where, you know, Billy Elliot's this little boy who loves ballet and is at first like his society and his family don't understand. He's kind of really going against the grain, and it's like that could have been knocked out of him, right? That could have been no, you've got to go and work in the coal mine, but he's like, no, my passion is dance, you know, that kind of thing. So maybe you did want to dance when you were younger, but it's like this hunger. So it's like this expression of this hunger. And then with these cards, okay, gosh, this is, and then pleasure, love and pleasure, love, pleasure and boundaries. Oh my God. And then back to purity and attraction. Oh my God, it just keeps going. And Persephone. Okay, I'm gonna take, oh wow, werewolf as well. Like, so much here. Right. So I've been getting a lot of stuff about darkness and light. So with Persephone being here, it's almost like, you know how Persephone is the consort of Hades. You know, understanding somebody who could be seen as scary and dark, basically, is what's been coming through. Again, look at like just the imagery of like the white gown and all this stuff about purity as well. It's like something about symbolic of like the purity, pure love, right? Pure love, always rooting for the anti-hero. You know, somebody who perhaps has been condemned as something bad. There's all this thing about like I have to be really careful, and I was talking about this kind of off camera, because I've been getting this symbolism a lot. It's constant, and I'm worried about talking about it on camera because people do get into really toxic relationships where, you know, they stay with somebody when they really shouldn't. You know, they will stay with somebody who is toxic and who is detrimental to them, and it's not a good situation. So I don't want any of you watching to because you love somebody, to allow yourself to be taken advantage of, or to allow your boundaries to be crossed. But there is also something beautiful about that unconditional love. And again, this could be like the love of a mother for somebody who is going through a tough patch. And a lot of the time when people there's been a lot of stuff coming through about society creates monsters and monsters create society, this kind of like, again, back and forth nature. Let me just read the Minotaur cards, and It made me cry when it came out yesterday. So, extend your compassion to others and yourself. Pity is not compassion. Pity is not compassion, right? There's a difference. Be aware that you may be being scapegoated or that you are scapegoating others. Take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for your actions, right? You should expect that of others as well. Look deeper before making decisions about others. Seek your shadow. Compassion, ostracism, betrayal, and allegiance. When we think again that I did betrayal and allegiance, so this really it came out after I've been getting the messages of obedience is not the same as loyalty, right? When we think of the great bull of Crete, we often think about the frightening, violent creature in the labyrinth and the hero needing to overcome it. Yet the shadow in this story is not the creature, but those around him. Minos is one of 3 brothers vying for the throne of ancient Crete. Crete at the time was one of the most powerful centres of influence in the known world. Minos argues that kingship should go to him because of his uniquely good relationship with the gods. He states that all he needs to do is ask the gods for something, and it will happen. To prove this, he performs a ritual and prays to the sea god Poseidon, asking that a bull come from the ocean. He promises that this bull will be sacrificed back to the gods as thanks. Amazingly, a bull walks out of the ocean, a magnificent white bull, perfect in form, dazzling everyone on the beach. Minos is given the kingship and becomes the ruler. However, it is here that he makes his first mistake. Minos thinks that the bull is so beautiful that he decides to keep it for himself and sacrifice a lesser bull to Poseidon. Everybody knows that an animal marked for sacrifice to a deity isn't to be kept for oneself, as this is hugely insulting to the gods. Poseidon is no exception and punishes Minos by making his faithful wife Pasiphae fall in love with the bull. This is a bit gross, but Pasiphae mates with the bull and births a baby she loves, yet it has the head of a bull. There is outrage in the kingdom, and the child, the Minotaur, is eventually placed in a specifically constructed maze below the palace. He lives there lonely, for the most part, but is visited by his sister Ariadne and his mother occasionally, until his father yet again changes things. And then obviously you've got the story of the Athens having to sacrifice 7 girls and 7 boys to the Minotaur every year, and this cycle, and then eventually Aegeus, the son of Theseus? Theseus kills the Minotaur. So that's a kind of the well-known story. But then it says, it is worth remembering that the Minotaur did nothing wrong and was not inherently evil. He was the product of family trauma and the scapegoat of the bad behaviour of others. What if he had not been disowned and shunned? What if his uniqueness was an asset and to be and not used as something monstrous? What if he had been shown compassion and not disdain? Literally, the Minotaur was the embodiment of the dark part of the family, or a person's own consciousness that lives hidden and that no one really wants to see. So it's exploring the darkest parts of yourself. And this can be done in a healthy way, like through computer games. Again, we've been playing GTA, which is a very, very dark game. It doesn't mean we're going to do any of that stuff in real life, but I think it exercises those darker parts of our personalities in a healthy way. And then you've got Rest with Hypnos. Now this is a really fascinating card to me. So I really want to draw attention to the 2 energies, right? The 2 people on these cards, because this is a really interesting energy of the relationship, which I've talked about in readings before, but I think I mistook Hypnos for Morpheus. Thanatos, who's kind of like death in ancient Greek mythology, and Hypnos are twin brothers, and they work together. Now they're not evil, they are doing a job that's really important, because of course if nobody died, there'd be too many people on the earth, and it's a part of life that's to be accepted. So it's a difficult energy to understand, but it's not inherently evil. And then Rest and Hypnos. So Hypnos has that kind of Morpheus energy of easing people into sleep. It's a pain relief energy. So the idea of these 2 brothers working hand in hand to give people an easy death when it's their time. Of course, I don't think anyone should kind of like take that thing into their own hands. But again, it's like the energy of something that is misunderstood because of its darkness. So let me just kind of And again, it says prioritize rest and sleep. Allow yourself to dream. You need the grace of rest to be at your best. So this is exactly what we were talking about. If you need to sleep, you need to sleep, right? We only have so much life force energy and we don't want to deplete ourselves. The unconscious has great depth and the power, so explore it if you can. So again, this idea of like the depth of our imagination, the depth of our subconscious, and the important information that can come through to us through dreams. Use your imagination. Do not stay asleep to your potential. Awaken your power. So again, this idea of awakening your power. So again, it could be like the nuggets of information that come to you through your dreams. In this busy world, people are having more and more problems with turning off and getting some quality rest and sleep. The ancients, though, knew how important sleep was, even how it is even a crucible for processing ideas and invention. So we're back to what was at the beginning, the sleeping princess, coming up with a plan through that cocoon status. Hypnos was the Greek god of sleep and was born of Nyx, night, the dark mother. Again, mother energy. A twin, he was often pictured hand in hand with his brother Thanatos, who was death. Often the brothers would shadow each other in their work. While featuring in a number of myths, Hypnos was generally seen as benevolent and relief-inducing deity and honoured for his place in well-being and health. Temples to Hypnos were often constructed in sanctuaries and healing places. The Greeks often also realised that too much sleep could be a symptom of depression or lethargy. Continually disconnecting from the world by slipping hand in hand with Hypnos may well mean you are depressed or lacking in energy, both situations that you should reach out and seek professional assistance. So again, this idea of like everything being in balance, not spending too much time in the waking space and not spending too much time in the sleeping space, but getting the balance right. Again, this is something that Persephone knew and understood. Look at that guy there. Look at him hanging out in the background. So Persephone spends half her life in the underworld and half her life in the overworld as the consort of Hades because she ate pomegranate. So something I saw in a vision last night as well, like again, I didn't know this card was coming out, but I've been getting a lot of Persephone energy. I saw so many pomegranate seeds. It's like if you imagine, you know those big massive bags of coffee beans? If you had about 7 of them and you emptied them all into a big pile, it was like that many pomegranate seeds. So I don't know symbolically what that was talking about. It's just interesting that it's come out in the reading. So the idea of Persephone being kind of, she carries that high priestess energy of being able to slip into both realms, right? The conscious and subconscious realm, and be able to spend half a life awake in the overworld and half her life in the underworld, which could be talking about the unconscious state, the dark realm. I don't know how, the dream space, I don't know how you want to put that. But I was thinking last night as well, like I've got a really big king size bed. Beds are really important to me. I'm a Libra, I'm lazy, right? I spend a lot of time in my bed, and you should spend a third of your life asleep, right? 8 hours a day works out to being a third of your life asleep. It's a really, really important thing that we do as humans because it helps us to replenish our energy. It helps us to, especially that kind of short-term memory. It allows us to turn short-term memory into long-term memory and to process our experiences and all that kind of thing. So good quality sleep is super important. I'm not sleeping well right now. I need to go and get Twining's sleepy tea because it will help. Also, another thing I do, I find the combination personally of Twining's sleepy tea, the purple one, if anyone's interested in getting that. I'm not a dietitian or health expert, I'm just sharing what works for me. And making sure I take magnesium regularly in supplement form. So magnesium helps with sleep, and Twining's sleepy tea taken regularly really helps my sleep patterns. I ran out of the tea. I need to go and get more. I've got like a Sainsbury's one with valerian root. It makes me fall asleep, but it doesn't help me stay asleep. So I don't know. That could be helpful information to somebody. And then we have love. So this idea of like love and death, right? Which being a really powerful energies, like they're kind of universal truths. Love and death and rest. I don't know. Compassion, rest and love. And then Kali being this destructive goddess, right? But she's symbolic of love. So this is, it's a really interesting energy coming through. And then pleasure, boundaries, purity, attraction, and Persephone with the journey. There's something really, and look at all these full moons. there's something really interesting coming through in my readings that I'm trying to understand. It feels like Hades and Persephone, like, you know, the love between them. They are seen as one of the most healthy couples. You know, they got off to a rocky start, I'm not gonna lie. I'm skeptical of the beginning of the story, but actually the show is being very, very loyal to each other, truly loving, and yeah, they actually, there's a lot of bad representations of relationships in the Greek pantheon, but they're kind of the best of a bad bunch, if I'm honest. So yeah, something about that, I think. And again, like werewolves, so like the light side of the dark side, allowing that dark side to come out to play, giving our darkness space to show itself. Let's read Callie as well. This is a new deck, so I'm really curious about these. Love isn't always pretty. Love is authentic and appreciates authenticity. Sometimes real love means you allow someone to make many mistakes. Again, what was I saying about unconditional love? And again, perhaps this isn't something you've been shown. Perhaps perhaps the mother figures in your life, or that maternal empress energy in your life, has always been expecting something of you. It's like, I love you if A, B, and C. I love you if you spend money on me. I love you if you do this. Like, don't make mistakes. Makes me think of that. Is it Alanis Morissette or Kelly Clarkson? There's a song called Perfect, and it says, I'll love you if you're perfect. So I don't know, that's not unconditional love, is it? Sometimes real love means you allow somebody to make mistakes. Boundaries may be necessary to assist somebody you love in the long run. Love is eternal. Acceptance and love can help you negotiate any situation, in particular the ones that you are afraid of and hesitant to make. It has the feeling of like being... One of my favourite songs, again, another Kelly Clarkson song, is Beautiful Disaster, where she's in love with somebody who is a beautiful disaster. And yeah, I don't know. It's like you can be in love with somebody and give them support and give them assistance and give them advice, but still have important boundaries in place. That's actually the healthiest form of love. Again, this is something that parents struggle to get right, you know, being especially because kids can sometimes play the card of, if you love me, let me have chocolate. If you love me, buy me that computer game. It's like, love isn't spending money on you. Yes, I want you to be happy, but love isn't monetary. Something about that as well. Is there anything... Tell me about... I'm interested in boundaries because this feels important. It's like protecting your innocence, right? Protecting your inner princess. Not in allowing yourself to be taken advantage of, your kindness, your naivety. 3 of Cups. So raccoons are kind of like the thief in the night, right? And justice on the underlying. Again, the balance. Getting the balance right. Not giving too much of yourself. So 3 of Cups there. Let's have a look at that card. Surrounding yourself with soul family and soul tribe, people who understand you and do love you for who you are, and they give you space if you need space, and they don't get butthurt over it, and you know, they show up when you need them to show up without over giving of themselves. A few years ago, I had a neighbour who would escape the city on weekends for a cabin out in the woods. One weekend, they forgot to lock the doggy door. A family of raccoons seized the very fortuitous opportunity. When it came to... I'll show you the deck I'm reading from. When it came time to create the 3 of Cups, I knew precisely which inspiration I was going to draw upon, because although I did not witness firsthand the aftermath from neighbour accounts, these raccoons, again, there's something there about, I didn't witness this firsthand, right? This is where the princess is learning. She's learning from the stories and accounts of others. So this could be talking about, again, in terms of boundaries, especially if you are giving your heart, if you are approaching someone and you're interested in not over giving. A very Libra in love overgives. like they will bend and bend and bend to fit in with their partner's life. So be wary of that if you've got any Libra placements and you've got that tendency. So this could be like the friends who tell you about their bad relationships, you know, like their stories of like what red flags to look out for, that kind of thing. So again, not, you don't have to have first-hand experience to be able to negotiate situations. When it came, yeah, and you blah 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 blah. I did not witness firsthand the aftermath. From neighbour accounts, those raccoons worked together to throw quite the party. Can you imagine what it must have felt like for those raccoons? It must have been like winning the lottery. That's twice that reference has come up, because I had going to Disneyland. The Three of Cups speaks of how you feel. I was just checking I was recording. How you feel when you share a great time of joy with others. There's something magical about joining forces with others in celebration, or just working towards a common goal that is sure to be a great success. There's a sense of community and belonging that keeps the passion burning within to keep moving forward. When you encounter the Three of Cups energy, you will benefit from joining forces with those whose company you enjoy. I really want to go back right now to the dancer, because we've got it here as well, who felt left out because they weren't going on to the next phase with their friends, but it wasn't right for them anyway. And I said, when this person, when these people split paths and they go on to explore new things, you know, this is when you're going to meet the Three of Cups, right? My tummy rumbled, I need to eat more. I've had one, not a potato cake, what they call crumpet this morning. I need to eat more. I'm trying to make you go to the shop to get me mushrooms.
Well, you haven't told me that at all until now.
I was trying to tell you psychically.
I'm not as psychic as you.
Fail. So Three of Cups. So it's like these are the same as you. These are the people who have the same passions, who have the same drive. And you're going to feel, when you do things with these people, you're going to feel excited to do things with these people. You're not going to feel like you're tagging along because it's what they want to do, right? So that's a really interesting thing to come back out. Chores or tasks will be more fun and more productive when you enlist friends and family to help. Of course, work is always so much more pleasurable when it's a work party. Like, again, my work mums, like, we love throwing a kitchen rave. When you hold the Three of Cups, a situation may benefit from asking for help or allowing others interested in your success to be involved. Use your enthusiasm for a project to enlist those who genuinely want to see you succeed. That's, again, genuinely want to see you succeed. Who really has your back? Who is, and be careful, because sometimes, because we've got that Libran energy, and I'm that sort of person. I was getting the other day King Lear, which is one of my favourite Shakespeare plays, because in that Shakespeare's encouraging leaders, especially if you compare it to Richard II, you know, leaders need to surround themselves with truth tellers, you know, the people who are going to give them the honest advice, like Cordelia and Kent, because you don't succeed if you listen to the people who are just going to tell you what you want to hear, right? If you're heading straight to failure, if you're heading straight towards a problem, but people around you go, yeah, that's a great idea. Do they really want to see you succeed, or are they in it for something for themselves? So the people who are brave enough to tell you, I don't think that's a good idea. Personally, I think you're heading towards a fail, and here's why. Maybe we could go a different route. And this is the difference between people who, as well, you have the Eeyores, right? Sometimes you have the Eeyores in a situation who are always doom and gloom, and they just point out the problems and they don't offer solutions. Ideally, you want the people around you who are going to be like, I'm going to give you the truth here, mate. I don't think this is going to work out. Take my advice, leave my advice, but that's how I see the situation. I've got this alternative idea, right? That's the best kind of person to surround yourself with if you're spearheading a project or you're trying to achieve something. You need the truth tellers, soothsayers, right? You not only will you gain an eager team ready to work, you will find the victory will be sweeter, because when everybody's excited for a project, when everybody wants to do something, when everybody's enthusiastic, they naturally put more energy into it, and they naturally have more, it generates more ideas, there's more excitement. Where if you're doing something because you have to do it, you're not going to put that same effort in. It's not going to be, you're not going to have as much one's energy, and one's energy is very creative. It's like out of the box thinking. So if you're putting a team together, who really wants to be there? You don't want that dancer who's there because they just want to be part of it. You want the people who are there because they believe in the project, right? They're passionate about it. If your task requires a hands-on approach, if you need to do physical work, call on the raccoon's energy, as this nimble creature possesses a heightened sense of touch. A shapeshifter and natural maker of shenanigans, your situation may benefit from using a little trickery when enlisting friends and family to help you with a task. But don't worry, they will thank you in the end for a great time. So I can think of other situations as well where I've kind of been I've been part of things where like I've been really excited about like the thing that, you know, that has been trying to being achieved by the group. So kind of like work projects and things like that. It's like when you really believe in something, when you're really, really excited and everybody else is excited, you know, being in that bubble of creativity and enthusiasm. You know, there's a lot of jokes flying, everybody's getting on really well, and then it's like, you know, there's and then being really proud of what you've achieved at the end. And it's like you do feel like those projects work out better than kind of, you know, where maybe it's not the right team, maybe people aren't really understanding each other or getting along, nobody wants to be there, nobody believes in the project kind of fails because everybody puts in a half-hearted effort. My son's downstairs on the VR, he's getting really noisy. So I don't know, something to take from that. And I've been in situations as well where like the hermit there as well. So again, that deep dark dive, that soul searching, praying for direction. Virgo energy as well. So we've got very Libra Virgo. Maybe somebody's on the cusp. I don't know what I was going to say with that. I've been in situations as well where I haven't believed in what we've been doing. I definitely kind of like with my old job, where I felt like people were doing things for the sake of doing them. There was no real reason to do it, and it was going to be a lot of hard work. And you can see it's going to fail from the start, and you've had to be that Eeyore, and you've had to say, look, I don't want to do this. I don't think we should do this. Here's why I don't think we should do this. And people like management have kind of said, well, we're doing it anyway. And you kind of like, it's not healthy to kind of sit there and go, well, I'm not doing it. I don't believe in this. I'm not doing it. You kind of like, okay, well, I'll do the best I can with it. I'll keep giving you my advice. Take it or leave it, you know, and it can be difficult to be in those situations too. Okay, I want one more card on the princess, please. So kind of more advice. 8 of Wands. Action, take action. A lot of that Wands energy. Whatever you're creative about, whatever gets you fired up and your imagination flaring and those ideas coming, do more of that. Communicate freely. Yeah, do more of that Wands energy. It really is like, it's very night energy as well. It's like the princess on the horse, right? The princess riding off on her adventure because she's got an intention. She knows what she wants to do, and she's being very creative with how she's going to get there and how she's going to get that done. So use that Wands energy, use that momentum, use that force, use that drive. If you've got a lot of creative energy at the moment, because Wands are creation, a lot of ideas, take action on them, get moving. So kind of again, I feel like almost this is 2 people, but again, it could be like cusp energy or something like this. Tell me about the dance. What's the dance, please? What's the dance? Why is the dance here? The wheel. So the wheel's turning. Again, the dance energy, Knight of Pentacles. There's that knight. And like, I don't know, it's like maybe something has to end. Maybe some boundaries have to be drawn. Maybe ties have to be cut in a certain situation. But the wheel's turning, and you want to make sure that when that wheel turns, when that situation it changes in your favor, that you're dancing, negotiating into a good position so that when the change happens, you're at the top of the wheel and not at the bottom of the wheel. So there is some negotiation, some strategy, some maneuvering happening here, because there is a change, there is a cycle that's transforming, and you want to kind of be on the upward curve and not the downward curve. So kind of like, it's kind of like if you need to get off that sinking ship, get off that sinking ship. Yeah, I think I know. Sorry, I was given an example of what this could be. But it's kind of personal, so I can't really say more of it. But yeah, if there's a project that, say you're in work and you're on a project and you're not feeling it, you're like, it feels flat, I'm not enthusiastic about this. I'm not, like, the ideas aren't coming in. It just feels like kind of like a dead end energy of just very stale and grey. And an opportunity comes up to jump ship and get onto a different project that you're like, I am enthusiastic about this. This feels like a win. I like the team, I've worked well with these people before. We're all enthusiastic about this idea. I'm going to get on that ship because that ship's on the up. I can see the success there. Where this ship, I'm not feeling it, because it actually may do better if you jump ship and get on that ship that's kind of like, it's drawing you, right? It's calling to you. It's getting you in that energy. It might actually be that other ship does better for you not being on it, because maybe you were actually contributing to the energy coming down, even though you were kind of doing your best in a bad situation. It's like, if you don't believe in it, again, like the dancers, right? Like the 3 girls who, 2 of them were really excited because they got this contract, they got this thing that they'd really believed in and they really worked hard on. But the 3rd girl, she was just sat there and she was like disappointed. She was kind of a bit Eeyore, and she was kind of bringing the mood down, where these girls had worked really hard for this. They were really excited. So it's almost like that girl had different things she believed in, right? Different talents, different things that lit that spark within. So almost like if she moved to something that suited her better, the other girls would be able to like really revel in that excitement. So it's just to kind of think about, if they show me a glove, like a perfect fit, it's just sometimes, your hand might not fit in that glove, and you can force it to fit in, but it's never going to feel like it fits right. Where, I don't know, it's like you could have a group of foxes and a group of pigeons, right? And you could have a raccoon and a group of foxes. And it's not saying there's anything wrong with the raccoon. It's just, it's not in the right place, Like, it's like, get everybody in the right places. I don't know. But yeah, maybe something has to end. Justice card as well can be like a contract. Oh my God, under the Justice card, Ace of Wands. And a decision, yeah. And a decision, yeah. So, yeah, Judgment as well there. So I've been seeing this a lot as well. This kind of like uplifting energy, following your dreams, following what feels right. Follow the Ace of Wands. So again, a contract may have to end, or there may be a contract that you don't get, but it's like, follow the enthusiasm, follow the thing that you're kind of hyped about. Why does that, like, I've seen high rise just with these letters here as well. I'm just like, seeing high rise. Again, just be careful with roofs. All right, I think we're done. A long reading, but again, I've been getting a lot of stuff off camera that has been trying to come through, and if I don't get a reading done, it builds up, and then I get these big long waffle readings. Let's get you a song on camera.
Gonna get copyrighted.
No, I'm not going to play the song. I'm just going to randomize the song and then read the lyrics, or sing the lyrics, because I sing so badly that the YouTube algorithm doesn't recognize them. Oh, you've got Everlasting Love by Gloria Estefan. Oh my God, I love it. Like, back to the theme, right? Everlasting Love. Hearts go astray, leaving hurt where they go. I went away just when you needed me so. Filled with regret, I come back begging you. Forgive, forget, where's the love we once knew? Again, that idea of like a breakup and giving it a new start. Open up your eyes, then you'll realize, here I stand with my everlasting love. Need you by my side, I want to be your bride. You'll never be denied everlasting love. Could be something about LGBTQIA. I always get it mixed up. Plus, I get the order mixed up. I've been getting a lot of stuff about kind of drag queens. Specifically, I was getting the film The Birdcage, with Robbie Williams. And I was thinking about the Birdcage in Manchester, which was like a nightclub that was very, very famous. Sadly, it's shut. And then I was also getting, what else was I getting? I was getting something the other day about the difference between someone who's transgender and someone who's a drag queen. It's not the same thing. So I don't know exactly what that is, but I'm just thinking about the music video to Everlasting Love. It's kind of like all these drag queens dressed up as Gloria Estefan, which I just think is such a fun video. Okay, need you by my side, you'll never be denied. What else do we have, please? So we've got Gloria Estefan, Everlasting Love, love it, and Crave by Madonna. I'm tired of being far away from home, far from what can help, far from where it's safe. Again, I had that feeling of like being at a distance from someone. Again, maybe like your actual home with your mum, where you feel safe. Hope it's not too late. Rush, rush, rush on you. Love, love, loved on you. Loved you like a fool. Put my trust in you, because you're the one I crave. And my cravings get dangerous. The feelings never fade. I don't think we should play with this. I said, come give me strength. I don't think we should wait for this, because you're the one I crave. I don't think we should wait, because I'm just me, and that's all I can be. Something real, something I can feel. You know, I just can't change. This is how I'm made. I'm not afraid. Take me to that place. Yeah, so that idea of like, this is who I am. Yeah, like wanting to be with somebody who loves you for who you are, like who sees your darkness and who understands that darkness. I need to get something else. I'm not sure. Just again, I don't want anyone to go into a toxic situation with anyone. Hold on. I love it. So my eldest has just handed me they've been doodling in the background, and so we've got Persephone and Hades, probably
the healthiest god relationship.
the healthiest god relationship, you know, as far as they go. I love it. I like his little skull necklace. And then we've got Zeus and Hera. Who's stabbing someone in the back there?
What's Hera?
Hera's stabbing Zeus in the back. I mean, like, is this like the swan? It looks like a duck. Because yeah, he was not the most loyal husband.
Even when it came to swans, apparently.
And then this is my favourite one. Apollo and his tree.
Was it Apollo who was like chasing this woman?
I think so, yeah.
Into a tree.
Apollo and Daphne, yeah, I think so. I love it.
Thank you.
Amazing. Right, okay. I feel like I need to get something else. I don't know if I need to get like one more song. No, let's get an outcome card. Let's get Moonology, because there's a lot of moon energy. Can we get an outcome, please? Advice, outcome. It can be scary as well. It can be scary to let people see your darkest parts. You know, the parts that aren't socially acceptable. Oh my God, don't let pride get in your way. But it's part of allowing someone to love you is to reveal the darkest parts of yourself. You know, if you keep those hidden, you're not giving anyone the opportunity to love you unconditionally. Take time to breathe out. Don't let pride get in your way. Take time to breathe out. Okay. And it doesn't have to be romantic love as well. Like, love comes in many forms. You know, friendship, family. So it says, have you been letting your pride become an obstacle? Is the question you're asking based on your ego, or is it from your heart? Leo energy is all about the heart. Think of the big-hearted king of the jungle, a lion. Its energy is magnificent, but when it's combined with the rush of the full moon, it can become over the top. This card may come to you because you need to end a deadlock that has developed. I said that you've got that all that kind of like scythe energy, so like ending something that's become a deadlock. Again, that sword's all wrapped up there, so again it could be some kind of contract that's stalemating. You know, maybe you've been negotiating something, you've been dancing for this for a long time, and it's like you just need to end this situation now because it's getting exhausting. More love and thoughts for a greater good are the solution to this dilemma. If you've not been doing as you would be done by lately, this is a time to find the balance between your own needs and the needs of the people around you. This will help all your relationships. Attune to the moon. Be magnificent without being plain too much. Self-esteem is good, but vanity is not. Vanity is very surface level, right? Self-esteem comes from within. Everyone is equally important. Creative urges should be followed. Work some magic. I really want to emphasize that one. Creative urges should be followed. Create some magic, especially if you're this energy, because that's kind of what I was picking up on there. A friendship may be ending now. And then you've got take time to, you've got music on there. Can you just mute?
No, that's Joe.
Is that okay?
Yeah, he's got Smash Mouth.
I think it's probably quiet enough that the internet's not picking it up, but okay. Disseminating moon. The intensity of the full moon is abated, and what are we left with? That's what this card is asking you. It suggests that the situation you've been asking about has peaked, and it's time for you to regroup and learn from your experiences rather than blindly forging ahead. Have faith that what is happening is for the best. Try to accept the way things are now and give yourself another's time out to relax. Breathe. We can't be on all the time, so it has this feeling of like giving a performance, but needing to rest. So almost like maybe if you are a ballerina, right, it's like doing 2 shows a night for a season. You're going to get exhausted. You can't physically maintain that kind of momentum. So it's like making sure that, you know, you take the break if you need to take the break, because sometimes it can just be 1 day off is all you need to kind of recover and then get back on top form. So again, if you feel like you've been performing and you need to rest, then do so. Have faith that what is happening is for the best. Try and accept the way things are now and give yourself another's time out to relax. Breathe. We can't be on all the time. If you feel you've hit an obstacle or even failed in some way, now is the time to reflect on how to do things differently next time. Be honest with yourself if you feel bad about your current situation, and then remind yourself that life goes in cycles. I am where I am, and that is okay. The universe knows best, right? Obstacles are just redirections. What redirection is God's protection. You being put on a better course, the one that suits you, rather than going on a downward course where you've just followed the herd. You should know where you stand either now or very soon. You need to take some time out for your own good. It's time for you to share your wisdom and experience with somebody else. Avoid falling into a slump. I feel like there's definitely something going on where your enthusiasm is not there, right? And it could be that you've just run out of steam and you need to kind of take a break, take a few days off, replenish, and then come back into something that you're really, truly passionate about. So take that if it resonates. Please leave it if it doesn't. These readings are going to be a little bit darker, but again, we really need to understand those darker parts of our personality, you know, our shadow, and give those space to come out and play in a healthy way. Again, like me and my eldest have been playing GTA. We've been up to proper dark shenanigans, but we're good people, right? We're just exercising that part of our nature in a healthy way, right? So I hope it's helpful. Do take care of yourselves, and I will see you again soon. Well, an hour and a half. Thank you for if you made it this far. Thank you for spending this time with me. Remember to leave me a like and all that good stuff. Yeah, really take care of yourselves and rest and replenish if that's what you need to do. Bye, friends.